Hey guys, it's Friday. Last week we did not record an episode because my parents were here.
Yep.
So we skipped a week and now we are back and recording
And taking pictures.
and taking pictures like normal.
If anyone watches our podcast, you may have probably already know, but I had a couple unboxing videos. I got the Select Draw Travel Humidor. You could go to the videos to see the actual unboxing of that if you're interested. And I got a custom nub humidor that holds the nubber load cigar sampler from cigarsinternational.com.
Yes, so we did 2 unboxing videos between our last video and now. So if you watch this one and want to stop over by our channel and see those, you are welcome to do that. Yeah. So it's a little weird skipping a week, but we are back to our normal and excited to jump back in.
And this is our get back to our normal Friday roots because we got Joe Bob summer sleepover. What is it called? Joe Bob summer sleepover?
Yeah, I think
Something like that.
it's some for the summertime, yeah.
Some over sleepover marathon, his
Yes.
double feature.
And Joe Bob is on tonight. I still have not got a connection for my phone, everybody. I'm sorry.
So if you can't hear me, blame her.
Our first guest, Jeremiah, who also is one of our biggest fans, told me that it's hard to hear us through the video.
Your parents said it too.
And my parents said it too. It's kind of hard to hear. So I am going to invest, I promise, into getting a connection for my phone so I can have a mic hooked up to it very soon, hopefully by the next Friday before we do our next podcast. So, alright.
So, you wanna plug me in?
Sorry.
I tell ya.
I didn't plug you.
Plug me in, baby. Hello. Hello. Caw. Test. I don't know.
Oh Lord. Alright. Are you ready?
Sure.
It's Friday, so you know what that means. Friday nights and
Well, you have to start over. Oh Lord. You mess up one little line and you gotta start over?
Yeah.
What is this?
It's because it's a
What is going on in my ears? You can't hear it.
there's like
Can
a
they hear it?
fan. No, there's like a freaking fan.
Some guy was just talking to me.
No. Sorry.
Hello. Don't ask me. No. I do not endorse you.
Okay. Sorry guys, let's try this again.
Sorry, I think Joe Biden popped up
Yeah,
on our
it
screen and was
was.
trying to talk to us and we shut that crap down.
Alright, ready? It's Friday, so you know what that means. Friday nights in the cigar lounge. Unfortunately, last week we had to skip a week because my family came in and we weren't able to record last Friday. So we are now back for our regular scheduled Fridays in the cigar lounge. And like always, before we start this week's episode, would you like to tell everybody what kind of cigar you are smoking tonight?
Tonight I am smoking a Rocky Patel The Edge. This one was given to me by Jeremiah. He actually, after his first cigar session here, his first cigar ever, he has, I'm pretty sure, had one almost every day since. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but he's addicted to cigars now, and we bought these Rocky Patels, and it's one of his go-to favorite cigars. I mean, for someone who's only had a couple. Like he said that he saw something online that said new cigar smokers tend to, once they find their one brand, they'll stick to it and they won't branch out, and that's what he's doing. So you need to branch out. We talked about that. But I'm smoking Rocky Patel The Edge. Never had it. I'll try it. I'll let you know what I think of it. It's a Maduro wrap. This is the Toro size. And it is got a little stuff online here. According to the description, it is an earthy and spicy cigar with a cedar base and tangy finish, designed for seasoned smokers. So, we'll see. I'll let you know what I think of it. I'm a little wary of the spicy cigar that it says, because I'm not a big fan of spice, a lot of spices in cigars. But maybe I'll like it. And I am drinking whiskey, PBR whiskey. I don't know why I said that backwards.
I don't know.
PBR whiskey with the Coke, Cherry Coke Energy, the usual.
So this week we decided that we want to talk about why do people do things they know that are bad. Because I feel like this is going to be a interesting and fun topic to talk about, just because there's a lot of things that we do that I think when we're doing them or about to do them or decide we're going to do them, we know that it's not a good decision, or it's something that's going to end up have consequences, and we do them anyways. So it's more like, why do we do things that we know that are bad? The biggest thing that kind of comes to my head is like drinking and driving type of thing. We go out and we want to have fun with our friends, and we drink, but knowing that we have to drive home, we're still drink.
But it's like when you are at a bar or a place, it's like you need to decide, okay, I know I have to drive. Is it going to be, I'll have a couple of drinks and be okay to drive, or is it, okay, I could have one more, and
Yeah.
that's the bad decision and
Right.
stupid decision that people make, that it's like, okay, I could have one more. Like, you know it's wrong, you know it's bad,
Right.
so why are you doing it?
And then you know that when you get done drinking and everybody's like, all right, we're gonna head home and everything, and then you like make that decision to get in your car. You could always make the decision not to get in your car, but you always make that decision like, oh no, like I'm okay, I could get in my car and I could drive home. And you know those are like the decisions that you shouldn't make, because you could get pulled over, or you could get in an accident and like hurt somebody else because of what you're doing. So that was the first thing that kind of popped in my head, of like when you decide to do something you know that's bad, but you do it anyways. Do you have something that people do that they know that's bad, but they would still do it anyways?
I mean, there's a lot of things.
I know.
Like, I always say, like, eating, even with food.
That's true.
It's like, I just ate dinner, but it's 10 o'clock and I'm ready for bed, but I'm going to make myself 5 taquitos. Do I need to?
Yeah.
Is it bad for me? I mean, it might be bad for my health, but, like, it's not bad for me.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, like, you shouldn't do it.
Right.
Because you shouldn't eat, like, when you're going to, like, right before you go to
Right.
bed, if you want to try to be healthy and stick to that type of routine. But
Right.
things like that. Like I know it's not good for you, but
Right.
I do it because I like taquitos at night.
Right. Yeah.
I would like to have my midnight snack.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This could be like a broad conversation, like with anybody, because there are so many.
Why do I go out on a canoe without
Yeah,
a life jacket when I
that's
can't
true.
swim?
Yeah.
Because I know it won't tip over, but that's why it's called an accident.
Yeah. That's true.
It's not right. It's bad
Yep.
to not wear it because you could die.
Yep.
But you know,
still do it.
I still don't wear it.
So let's not get into so much of like what certain things people do. Let's get into more like why do you think we do things we know that are bad but we still do them?
Well, onto the life jacket thing. It's uncomfortable. It's hot. So people don't wear it because they don't want to feel uncomfortable. They don't think it's cool.
Right.
Like I'll wear it. Like I've had pictures of me wearing it. And
Yeah.
I've had it on before. I don't care about the coolness.
Right.
But it's just when you're, relaxing on your canoe and on an 80, 90 degree day, it's uncomfortable, it's hot. So it's just things like that is why you might do something like that. But in general, you might do it because, you want to get that in regards to drinking and driving. You had a few drinks at the bar with your friends, but you shouldn't have one more, but they're all still drinking, so it might be like a not peer pressure thing, but a social obligation you feel to keep drinking or to keep, you want to be out and have a good time, so you don't think of the consequences in the moment.
Right.
I think it's more of people don't think of the consequences in that moment when they're doing something stupid or wrong that they know is wrong, and then that's when it comes to bite you in the butt.
Right.
Later, because you know the consequences, but you shrug them off and you do it anyways because you're not completely processing the consequences at the time.
Because I think people...
If that makes sense.
Yeah, because I think people do things, and when you do something bad and you get away with it, and then you're like, oh, I could do that again and get away with it, and then there's that one time you do that thing and you get caught, or something bad does happen and there is a consequence. I think people really start to think about sort of all the things that they do that might not be smart and might not be something they should probably do. But I think most of the time, we all do things that when we look back years from when we did it, we're like, man, that was just really stupid. I can't believe I did that. I should have never done that. I could have really hurt somebody else or hurt myself. But at the time, we just don't think of those things. But I feel like if there were more consequences to the things that we did bad, more people wouldn't do them.
Oh yeah, of course. If there's more consequences, it's
Right.
fortunately there is not, and it's like you said, people keep doing it because they get away with it. They get away with it. Oh, I've never had an issue. I've never been pulled over by the cops after drinking.
Right.
So they're going to keep doing it and think it's okay. There's going to be that one time when they get pulled over.
And it's funny too because there's those people that do, when you think about it, they do these bad things, they get in trouble and they don't do it again. And then you have the people that they do the bad things, they get the consequences,
and then they do it again.
And then they do it again. And that's
and again, and again,
yeah.
and again.
And there's the people, I kind of had a thought of people that are in jail. People that go to jail and they're in jail for a very long time. And when they get out instead of trying to cope with life and figure it out, they automatically do something like bad again. So then they get arrested and get thrown back in jail because it's just easier to be in jail because you are told when to wake up and you're get free meals and
I don't want to say it's necessarily that it's like
some people
let's say
have a hard time to cope
let's
with
say
it
you
though.
get
You
thrown
can't
in jail.
adjust to life.
You get thrown in jail for drug possession or whatever drug, and you do a few years, and then you come out, and then you just because you were in jail and you didn't have that drug, whatever, let's say,
Yeah, that's true.
and then when you get out, you have free access, not free, but complete
Right.
access to whatever you want. What's the chances right out of jail you're gonna,
Yeah.
you know, find, like you said though, find a job, get on your feet.
Yeah.
Like you just got out of jail, and most jobs might look at you and be like,
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I think for them it's like some of them do really good, but there are others that they come out and they just don't want to be out and they do something bad just to go back in because it's just easier for them. Like,
It's like in Breaking Bad. There was the guy that they always, I forget what episode it was. If anyone's familiar with Breaking Bad, it's Heisenberg.
Yeah.
Walter White is a school teacher, chemistry teacher who has cancer, and then he breaks bad and starts cooking meth and selling meth to provide for his family after he dies. And then it just turns into him loving what he does, cooking the meth.
that's true.
And that's his empire.
Yeah, because he makes a lot of money doing it, so he just
He
falls
makes
in love with doing it.
He makes a lot of money, but the thing is, in one of the episodes, I'm pretty sure there was a guy who took the fall for they pay him so much money, and he takes the fall for people because he's like in his 60s, 70s, and he knows nothing other than prison. So he
Yeah.
willingly will as
Like,
long
take
as
the
they
fall,
give
yeah.
him money for it, he'll take the fall and go back to prison because that's all he knows.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying too. Like in that instance, like some people will fall into like drugs, and like yes, it's hard to go to rehab, and yes, it's hard to get off of drugs and stuff like that. But instead of taking that chance to like better yourself, you just keep putting yourself back into like that circle of friends and that situation where you know you're gonna like do it again, or like alcoholics, like you know you shouldn't be around people who drink alcohol or people who maybe you're trying to quit smoking, people that are smoking, but you put yourself in that situation, then you start doing it again, and then you're upset because you've fallen back into those bad patterns, and that's because you know it's bad, but you're going to do it anyways.
Yeah.
And so that's why I just thought this topic would be like interesting to talk about, because there are just so many things in life that we do that are not good, and
They're just bad decisions.
yeah.
It might not necessarily be like a horrible thing, like, killing someone or
Right.
something like that, but it's decisions that have consequences that
Right.
might lead to a future problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, like he said, it's not like, oh, I killed somebody the other day, or I did something really bad. You could just be making life choices that you know down the road are going to lead you down a path of life that you don't want to go down. And we do these things, and I think sometimes we do things without like thinking about it, and sometimes we do things with thinking about it. But most of the time, I think we do a lot of things without thinking about consequences and without thinking about where down the road this is going to affect me. And then years later, when it does affect you, you're just like, wow, that was a bad decision, and that was like stupid, and I shouldn't have done that. Because I think a lot of kids or teenagers do things that will get them in trouble as teenagers that affect them as adults. And when you do something as a teenager, you don't think about that stuff. Like, you don't think of the stuff that's going to affect you as an adult, because you're like, oh, that's so far away. But then by the time you get to an adult, those things that you decided to do while you were a teenager and being like rambunctious and everything start to affect you as an adult, then you're like, man, I really shouldn't have done those things. Like, that was really stupid.
Yeah. A lot of people, I mean, regrets when it comes to things like that. You're gonna have some regrets, but you can't focus on that type of stuff.
Right.
I mean, I know that's what our episode's about, but
Right.
when you do have a bad decision you make and you do get the consequences, hopefully you can learn from it and not do it again, instead of being one of the people that constantly are in a cycle that makes the same mistakes over and over and over and over. You learn from your past.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If you try to forget the past, you're doomed to repeat it.
Very true.
That applies to a lot of things in today's world.
Yeah,
But we don't need to get into
Yeah,
that.
we're not getting into that.
Well, we could.
Topic again. I guess you could ask a question too, as like, if we knew, like, automatically, I guess too, that if we did this bad thing, there were automatically going to be consequences, like, we probably wouldn't do that. Right? Like, if somebody told you, you smoke a cigarette, you're going to get cancer, you're going to die within a year, you probably wouldn't smoke a cigarette.
But that's not something, like, are you saying just hypothetically,
Hypothetically,
if you knew that
yeah.
if you smoked that one cigarette, you're gonna die in a year?
Yeah.
I think people would still do it.
I just think people would still do it.
Yeah. First of all, there's addiction to nicotine.
Yeah, that's true.
People would still make the stupid decisions even knowing the consequences.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if somebody tells you, you go out tonight, you get drunk with your friends, you're going to get in a car accident and you're going to kill somebody, you still think that person's going to go out with their friends and drink and enjoy?
Yep. I think they're still going to do it because they could be selfish. They want to just do what they want in the moment. Some people just live in their moment. People don't think about tomorrow or the next
Right.
day. They just live.
They're just living in the now.
They live
Yeah.
in now.
I just thought of that, like, if you, like, somebody told you and came to you and was like, look, like, tomorrow you're going to do this, and I know it's really stupid, but if you do this, this is going to happen, and you're like, man, maybe I really shouldn't do that. But there's those people that are like, I'm going to do it anyways.
Why would I listen to this person?
Like, why am I going to, I'm going to do it anyways.
Yeah, of course. You have a lot of people. There's a lot of people. If you tell someone, well, like I said, it's all there's addiction.
Yeah.
If people, alcoholics, if you go up to someone who's drinks constantly right now
Yeah.
and tell them you're gonna die tomorrow if you keep doing that, I 100% guarantee they're gonna do it.
They're gonna keep doing it, yeah. Well, that's right. Like, not trying to be all religious or anything on everybody, but I guess that kind of goes back to, if you believe in God, that he knew that he was sent to earth to die, and he didn't want to, but he did it. Like,
Jesus
yeah.
crucified.
Like, Jesus knew at some point in his life that he was going to die on a cross for our sins, and he did it. Like, I think at some point, like, because I grew up in church, like, he didn't want to, but he did it.
What do you mean he didn't want to? He wanted to die for our sins and be the redeemer of salvation.
Yeah,
salvation
but he wanted to find a different way to do it. Like, I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I guess when you think, like, if you are religious and you go to church and stuff like that, like, knowing that too, and you also think about, like, that's not people doing bad things.
On the topic, there's a lot of bad decision making because of lack of religion in today's world. Like, just our country in general has gotten away from, believing in God and standing up for that type of religion and belief in society. Like, people don't believe that there's a ultimate punishment when they die.
Right.
So they don't care what they do on this earth. They just want to cause destruction.
Right.
They want to. There's not some higher power watching them, is what some people think, that will ultimately judge them in the end.
Which is interesting, because, like I said, I'm not trying to get all religious on everybody or anything, but I like to know people's opinion. Do you believe in God or a higher power, or do you just believe that, like, there's nothing after you die? Because there are people that do the bad things, and they do these bad things because they believe that when they die, they just die. Like, there is no heaven and hell. There's nothing. There's
no there's no afterlife.
Yeah, there's no afterlife. That's just it. Like, when you die,
eternal paradise.
Yeah, you're just dead. Like, you go nowhere. And like I said, growing up, and I think you growing up, we grew up with that as, like, a background. So there's a lot of people that have grown up with that as a background. So they do believe that when you do good things, then that is good in his eyes, and he's always helping you on your journey. And sometimes you do bad things and you apologize.
You're brought up to believe that even you always do good.
Yes.
You might be shit on, you might completely just keep getting the short end of the stick, but that shouldn't change how you act. And that's in all the stories in the Bible. It's always God testing these people by throwing these types of situations at them and seeing how they respond in that type of situation. And it was I don't know the exact story in the Bible, but it was he prayed to God every night for, not good things, but for an easy life. And I don't know the story, but there's a story where he just, like, always prayed, and he always got, bad things happen to him. His crop got lost.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And he prayed and prayed and prayed, and there was a test to see that if he lost faith, and if he blamed it on God
or not. Yeah, and he never
But
did.
not to get religious.
Yeah, we're sorry, we're not trying to get religious, but I think, like, people who maybe do the bad things, they don't necessarily believe that there's consequences, or there is a.
That's what I said. There's no belief
like
in a higher
power.
There's no belief in a higher power, higher being
Yeah.
that is going to judge you in the end, because people are just going to do what they want, and that's why our country is going to the way it is, because of the lack of religion and faith. And if people believed in a spiritual being, whatever you want to call it, whatever religion you want to practice, if you follow that and were brought up that way between good and bad, then there's people that wouldn't be rioting and looting, because that's all bad.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, it's not protesting. It's not peaceful protesting when you break into the Best Buy and steal computers and
Right.
That's just
That's-
thou
yeah.
shalt not steal. Again, not to get religious,
Yeah.
but it's just one of those things. It's the way you are raised.
Right.
There's no religion with most of the kids nowadays.
Well, and that's why maybe I wanted to talk about this too, because even like with what's going on right now, there are so many people just doing like horrible bad things to just other people and to buildings, and we're looting and we're stealing and we're killing and like we're doing all these things, and we think that there's no consequences to all these things that we're doing. But I think there is, but with everything that's just going on right now in the world, right now there's no consequences, but like there is.
Yeah, and not to go into a rant and cut you off, and then you got people, I won't mention names, but people in politics that are like, oh, they're looting because they need to steal a loaf of bread because they're not working. They're not working and they need to feed their family. They're not stealing loaves of bread.
Right.
They're stealing computers, electronics, they're looting, taking shoes, vandalizing buildings. Like it's not to provide for their family. And most of these people, not saying most of them don't have families, but a lot of the people that are looting do not have kids and a family to support.
Yeah, they're not doing it too.
But I digress.
Yeah.
So no matter what, people are going to do bad things even if they know the consequences. People are they do bad things because they maybe have an addiction or have it in their head that they're going to get away with it.
Well, that's the thing too, because I think if you have it in your head that no matter what you do, you're going to get away with what you're doing no matter what, and you always get away with it, and like you never really ever get caught, or there's never no like consequence to it, people just are gonna keep doing it because there's no consequence, you're not getting caught. Like, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing until I get caught, and then maybe I'll make this decision not to do anymore, and maybe I'll just keep doing it. But a lot of people, I feel like, do things that they know that are bad because they
know they'll get away with it.
Yeah, they know they will get away with it, and they'll keep doing it because they keep getting away with it until one day they don't get away with it, and then it's like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. Maybe I'll just do it. Maybe it's just that one time. Because it is all about consequences and everything too. And I think if you did stuff that you know that were bad and there was a consequence every single time you did it, you maybe wouldn't do those things so often. Like you said, with addiction and stuff like that, maybe it would be different, but with other things, with like stealing, murdering.
But that could be a sickness, like a mental illness.
That's true.
There could be there's a lot of not gray areas, but there's a lot of factors that go into bad behavior and bad decision making.
I understand people having mental illnesses and stuff like that, but there are people out there that.
But when you have like a serial killer who says he does it to
for fun or pleasure
he does it because he is a follower of Satan or whatever.
Right.
And there's like no remorse, there's no feeling of empathy for the victim or things like that. Like those, I don't know.
That's why I don't want to get off topic here, but I do.
We always get off topic.
But I do like watching on Netflix or on, I think there might be some on Hulu. If you watch, what was that one I watched with you?
You didn't watch it. We watched the movie version with Zac Efron, the Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy one. I like to watch that because
almost made me believe he was innocent. No.
it's just that because they were doing that off of how he acted the whole time and the things he did, and he truly believed that he never did anything wrong. Like, he truly believed he never murdered anybody, and he truly believed he was such a good guy. But, like, deep down, he knew that he was, like...
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if he believed he was, like,
he just made people believe he was not doing it.
What's the word? He's manipulative into...
Yes.
He makes people believe what he wants them to believe, that he didn't do
Yes.
it.
It
And
was just
it was
so
more...
crazy.
That movie was mainly from, like, his girlfriend's point of view, right?
Yes.
Because it was, like, her and how she found out that
Yeah.
he was a killer.
But it was just so crazy to see, like, that, like, truly, like, he knew what he was doing was bad, but he was getting away with what he was doing slowly.
And people do it because they're famous. He had so much fame and so many fans.
Yep.
Like even women
Yeah, it was disgusting.
Women who knew that, who would never kill people or
Yep.
condone
Wanted to
killing
be in a
people, wanted to
relationship
be
with
with him.
Yep. Because he was
So
a killer.
that's another thing. Why would you want to be in a relationship with someone who is a murderer?
Right.
And you know he's a
Yes.
murderer, but it's because he's attractive. Like
Yeah,
there's
and then that one
that's
lady-
a bad decision.
And then the one lady married him and had a kid with him. It was like, you married a murderer and had a kid with a murderer. And it was just like, if you have Netflix, go on and just watch, like, I haven't watched How to Make a Murderer, or watch, like, any of those, because there are some, like, people who do murders and who are, what do you call them, serial killers, who really, like, not that they don't think that they're doing it and stuff, but they almost believe, like, they're not doing something wrong. Like almost like that's just who they are.
That's what they were put on this
Yeah.
earth to do.
Like, it's just something that they needed to do. And it's, like, almost so crazy when I watched that one, is that, like, he knew what he was doing was wrong. And he was, like, slowly at first getting away with it, but then he went to jail. But he was making...
He went to jail, but he got out all the time,
and
he was famous.
The jury and everything believed that, like, with evidence and, like, all this stuff, like, he, like, was innocent, and it, like, he was just so sweet, and, like, how could I be, like, a killer and stuff? It was it was outrageous. Like, some people are just very good at that, and like you said, people wanting to be in relationships with people that are doing these bad things too as well. Like, I could understand when you're with somebody and they do bad things and you don't know they're doing bad things, and then you find out and you're like, whoa. But there are people out there that, like,
want to be with someone who's a serial
out
killer.
those people that are serial killers or doing bad things because that's, like, their obsession. And it's like, no, I would never want to be with somebody that I knew did something bad.
Like American Horror Story.
Which one?
1984. It's like the whatever his name, Son of Sam. Was it Son of Sam? The guy who was with Mr. Jingles in the end. The one with the black hair, and then Dakota was with her the whole time.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I don't remember. Son of Satan.
Whatever it was, but he was a serial killer, and she, like, got off to it, and the thrill of it. People like the thrill, and then the anticipation of not knowing what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
I know that's a TV show, but
yeah,
it's just
but still,
the metaphor.
Because that's really what happens in real life, is people are, like, obsessed with people who do these bad things. And they, like, get the thrill of these people doing these bad things because they, like you said,
the adrenaline.
They don't know what's happening next, and, like,
You get your adrenaline pumping. Some people are just adrenaline junkies. And that's another thing we could go on to about when it comes to war.
Yep.
Some people love battle and going to war and fighting, and that's the Hurt Locker. He always got, no matter what he did, if people haven't seen the Hurt Locker, he was the defused IEDs in Iraq or Afghanistan, wherever they were. I know that one's based on a true story. I don't know how true it is. I'm not vouching for the movie. I don't know the whole story, but he was in the war on terror, and he was a IED diffuser, diffused the bombs when they found them, and that's what he loved doing. He would take off his jumpsuit that was supposed to protect him because he loved the rush of, you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But when he got home, when he was done with his tour in Iraq, he didn't know what to do in like everyday life, pulling leaves from the gutter, looking down the cereal aisle, like 100 different brands. He just picked one and threw it in there.
Yeah.
And then a week later, he was back in the jumpsuit at the end of the movie, defusing the bombs because he just liked the adrenaline. He was an adrenaline junkie. Yeah. It just got his blood pumping, and that's what he liked to do. He didn't want to be a stay-at-home, not a stay-at-home dad, but he didn't want to be at home just working a job. He wanted to be in those types of situations that kept him on the edge all the time. And that's what some people, it's not necessarily bad decisions, because it's good that we have people that
want to do that
stuff, but
it's almost stupid, like you're taking off your vest and everything to defuse a bomb that could explode and kill you, and your vest is there to save you, but
his whole thing was that if that bomb went off, that vest is not going to protect him, so he wants to be comfortable. Well, he does it.
Right. Well, I'm trying to think of that other movie we watched that I thought
and that, not to cut you off, but that goes back to the life jacket. Being comfortable.
Yeah, being comfortable, yeah. That makes me think of that other movie we watched that was like a war movie that I think was maybe it wasn't based on a true story, about the guy who was in like the war, but he refused to have a gun.
Most war movies I make you watch are based on truth. That was Hacksaw Ridge. That was 100% a true story.
Which is funny, because that's another one. It's like, it's not a bad decision, but it's almost a bad decision. Like, you want to go out and you want to rescue your other like fallen soldiers, which is good. But you want to do it without a gun because you don't want to kill and shoot people.
It's all with his faith and belief in God, though. But he did do it. That was the whole point of the movie.
Like,
that he was the one who rescued every one of them. Everyone said, "Oh, you're gonna die. You can't do anything. You can't protect us because you're not gonna carry a gun." But he was the one who rescued all of them.
I'm just saying, like, when you think about it, you're like, man, that was a bad decision because like you could have got shot and killed. You should have just took a gun. But like in his mind, like to him, that wasn't a bad decision because like
he was doing what was right.
Yeah, in his faith, I don't need a gun. I'm not gonna shoot people. I'm not gonna kill them. I'm going to be here to save people when my comrades have fallen down and they need me to carry them back to safety. And he saved so many people, and that movie was so good. And like I think I even cried because it's like it's just so touching
that violent movie.
That there are people out there that when you think about it, you're like, that's so stupid and that's so dumb and like that's a bad thing to do, but they're doing it because
that's their belief.
They believe, like, I'm gonna defuse this bomb and I'm gonna take this vest off because no matter what, that bomb explodes, I'm gonna die anyways. Like, to somebody else, like, that's stupid, that's a bad decision, but to him, like, I'm gonna be comfortable while I'm doing my job, no matter what. If this explodes in my face, I'm gonna die. If I don't carry a gun and somebody shoots me, I could defend myself and die, but if I'm trying to help somebody on the ground and stuff, I don't have enough time to get up and have a gun to shoot somebody, so I'm just gonna help my people think they're stupid.
But that goes all back to like your decision making, like it's bad to shoot people, like based on his belief. It all goes back to your beliefs and your religion almost, because that's what it was. He thought,
thou shalt not kill.
No matter what he was gonna do in war, he had to go to war he wasn't gonna carry a gun
Right.
because it went against his beliefs.
Right.
So it's all your mindset and all your how you're brought up and things like that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, not trying to get into religion or get off topic, but there are shows and movies that you can watch that when you're watching them, you're like, man, that was like a horrible, bad decision, but then like these people make these decisions because to them that's
It's
what's
what's
right.
right.
Yeah, that's what is right.
It's what's right or what's wrong.
Yeah. To some people it may seem like there are things that people do that are good, that are stupid and bad, but they're good.
Yeah.
They
like,
do good things with the bad decisions.
It's a bad
they
decision.
make.
Yeah, it's a bad, like you said, it's a bad decision not to have a gun in war, but
Yes.
it was his belief not to kill people and not to have one and shoot a gun, so he didn't, and it led to something good and him
Yeah.
rescuing all these people without one, so it was a story to tell based off of
Yeah.
a belief and a faith, and it was one of those, it's supposed to be not a feel-good movie, because it was a very, like I said, brutal and
Yes.
violent, but it's meant to make you think about those types of decisions, that you don't always have to maybe have a gun or kill people
Yeah.
to do good.
Right. You don't always have to make those decisions.
And just to clarify, I've never shot a gun, I've never owned a gun, but I want to. Like, I'm 100% for people owning the Second Amendment. People want to have guns. I'm all for people conceal and carry, or however, by law,
Yeah.
not like people who get them illegally, though.
Right.
But if you do it by the book, guns are a good thing, in my opinion. Like, they're good for protection, especially in today's world.
That's why I don't know why talking about guns that made me think of this. But there was this it was like either a song or something like that back when I think I was a teenager. And then I think my sister wrote it somewhere one time in our closet. And it was guns don't kill people, people kill our, what was it? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I showed you that.
My sister showed me that when we were teenagers too.
I don't think that was out when you were teenagers. It was guns don't kill people. I kill people with guns.
Yeah.
It was a comedy guy.
Yeah. So it's that's another thing that I think about too when people do bad things. It's people automatically when they're just shooting or something oh well.
Well, it's gun
it's
control.
Because it's gun control. No.
No, it's because
It's
that
because
person
that person
decided
needs
to
gun-
shoot that person.
Absolutely.
It has nothing to do with gun control and taking guns
Absolutely.
away. Everyone has a right to own a gun and to
Absolutely.
bear arms. 100% everyone has that
The
right.
people who are getting them illegally, yes, there is an issue.
And no
If
matter
you-
what, if you take away our right to own guns, people are still going to get
Yep.
them illegally and still kill people.
Yep. Absolutely.
100%.
Because that's what I always think of every time I see in the news about a shooting, or anytime you hear about people complaining about gun control. It's there is not an issue on gun control. There is an issue with people who own guns, who decide they're going to go out and they're going to shoot other people. That's where the issue lies.
Yes.
It has nothing to do
100%.
with guns. It is the people that are shooting the guns.
It's the fact that some people, like I said, bad people will get guns.
Yep.
No matter what, you could put all the laws in place to take guns away. Then you're taking guns away from the law-abiding citizens who could protect people and
Yeah.
protect themselves and their property and their families, and you're just 100% having guns in the hands of criminals.
Yep.
Because no matter what, they're going to get them illegally.
I don't know why that makes me think of that couple that had the guns and they were defending themselves on their property when the rioters came in and said they were going to kill them and take their houses, and then they came and wanted to take their guns away because they were threatening the people who said
They came in and
Yep.
they didn't want to, they took their guns
Yep.
away and had a search warrant.
Yep.
And they took their guns away, and the only reason those people didn't go in, it's all politics. It's all politics. Some people only get one side of the story, and they don't see that these people own the guns legally.
Yep.
They didn't shoot anyone.
Nope.
They
were
just had them,
defending
made
their
it
property.
known that they had them, and that if they had to use it, they would.
Yep.
And they were Democrats. I don't know if they will be any longer, but
Right.
they were Democrats. They were 100% all for, the Democrat way, but they were fearing for their life and their property, and so they made it known that they had guns, and that's what kept the peaceful protesters away from breaking into their property
Yeah.
and coming in and killing them.
Right. I feel like we went like so far off.
We went into
We spiraled.
we spiraled out of
We
control.
spiraled, guys. I feel like we spiraled so far off.
A lot of people will not like what we said, but too bad.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, like we said, don't listen. If you could have a conversation and have, like we said, we're not gonna go. If people wanna not follow us or not listen to us, don't listen to us. But
Yeah.
it's more of a point of view. There's always two sides. I'm not gonna completely say your side is wrong, but
Right.
then don't say that to me.
Right. Yeah. So like I said, I definitely think we spiraled kind of away from
It's
where
not. It's all part of bad decisions.
it's all part of bad decisions.
It's all
so-
part of decisions and why people do. Why people make.
why people do things they know that are bad.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But onto the cigar.
Cigar check-in.
I got through the first third. I might be onto the second third. I might be towards the end of the first, I'm not sure. But the first third, when I first lit it up, it was really spicy. It wasn't bad. Like I said, I'm not a fan of spicy cigars. That doesn't pause it, right?
No. Yeah, it's fine.
I'm not a fan of the spiciness of cigars, but this one it was bold right in the beginning. And it's weird that I don't like spiciness to my cigars because I like crushed red pepper on my pizza. I like spicy peppers. I like everything hot and spicy.
Yeah, you do.
Bold and spicy margarita mix.
Yeah.
Tabasco sauce in there. But usually with the cigar, I don't know.
Margarita mix?
Bloody Mary mix. Did I say margarita mix?
Yeah, you did. That's why for a second
Bold
I
and
was like, margarita mix?
Eh,
He meant Bloody Mary.
I meant
mix,
Bloody
guys.
Mary
Sorry,
mix.
I had to stop that for a second. I'm like, did I hear what I
but the
just heard?
the brand is a margarita mix too, so that's why I confused you.
Gotcha.
Let's go with that.
Okay, go ahead.
But the first third was very spicy. Then it really did mellow out right now. I'm getting more of a creamy and mocha or chocolatey cocoa flavor. But the very first puffs were very bold, and it wasn't too strong, but it did taste almost like a crushed red pepper. That's at least the taste I got, and then it mellowed out, and it's all blending well together right now.
Yes.
So that's what I think of it. So where's a fly? But it is good so far. It is bold.
Sorry, guys. I'm distracted by that squirrel crawling underneath the desk.
Always distracted by the squirrels.
Yeah, so I think we pretty much
We covered
broadly covered
we covered bad decision making and why people do it and a lot more.
Yeah, a lot more. So hopefully you guys like this episode. Let us know your opinion on why you think people do bad things. Let us know if you think if people knew that there are consequences to their bad decisions, if they would still do them.
And we're not gonna not patronize, what's the word? We're not gonna look down on people
Nope.
for their opinion or their
Absolutely
views.
not.
Even like we said, we wanna know your religious views, if you're
Absolutely.
a believer and not believer, what you think there is after life.
Yep.
Is there a higher power, is there a higher being, whatever you may believe in. We're not gonna say you're wrong.
Nope.
We would just wanna know like other people's opinions and we'll have a conversation about it. It's not gonna be, oh, you are 100% wrong,
Yeah.
this is not the way it
We are
should be.
never going to be judgmental of our viewers or our listeners. We want to connect with you guys and we want to know your opinions. So we are not here to judge. We're not here to criticize you guys. We are here just to get to know you guys and just hear your guys' opinions. We will never say your opinions are wrong, your opinions are right. Please don't share your opinions. Like, we're not like that. We are truly open to hearing what you guys think and what you guys, what am I trying to say?
Believe it.
Yeah, believe in. So, thanks for joining us for another episode, and this has been Why Do You Think People Do Bad Things?
Yeah, it's always, we're not gonna get political.
I know, we like always
It's not necessarily political, it's just our beliefs and point of view.
That's why I said I didn't mean to get all religious either, but it's like one of those things, it's just,
You have to sometimes.
sometimes you just have to.
Sometimes
and there are a lot
by
of
talking
people,
about certain things
Yeah.
that you talk about your opinions and views, it's not necessarily getting political
Right.
or religious, but it's just the way you were raised, your point of view and your aspect on life that'll
Yeah.
come
And
out.
there are a lot of people that I understand they don't do politics and they don't do religion, and that's perfectly fine. We're not, like I said, we're not here to judge you. We're not here to say that you're wrong for what you think. Like, we believe in what we believe in, and you can believe in what you believe in. No judgment at all. If you like watching us and like what you hear, please subscribe and keep liking our videos and follow along with us. If you don't, that's fine too. Like, we're not gonna force anybody to watch our videos.
I don't think we have a lot of people watch them anyways.
It's okay.
we get some views.
It's alright. Like I said, we're still like fairly new. We're like 50 episodes in. A lot of other podcasts, yes, have a lot of people. There are some people who make podcasts and theirs just have a ton of followers and stuff like that. But I'm fine with the people who listen and the people who don't. I'm fine with people who follow and people who don't. Like,
It's okay if you don't listen to us.
I'm not trying to become like famous. I'm just trying to help, and I don't know what to
Be an
like.
inspiration,
Yeah, just be an
I don't know.
inspiration for people. Like,
For the one person that needs
yeah,
it.
like our conversations on Fridays are just kind of like a free for all. We just kind of have fun with it and everything. And if you've ever gone to Spotify or whatever platform you listen to my personal one-on with just me, I'm trying to just be a motivation or inspiration for somebody that just might need to hear it that day and might need to hear that message. So if I don't have a ton of people listening or following me, that's okay, because I'm okay with just having that one person that needs to hear that message that one day. So,
That's all that matters.
yep. All that matters is that you touch that one person that one day. Or every time they follow you and they like what they hear. So next week you want to do gender roles or impractical jokes?
I feel like we got a little deep on this one. A lot of, not serious, but
Yeah.
let's do impractical jokes. Let's lighten it up a bit.
We do that.
Like I said, not that we got like deeper,
Yeah.
but we got
Yeah, we got a little personal.
personal. Impractical jokes could be personal, but we'll
Yeah.
get there. We'll get there.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Friday Nights in the Cigar Lounge. So next week, we decided we're going to discuss impractical jokes. We have some little backstories on impractical jokes and thought we would change up the mood and talk about something exciting. So hopefully you guys will join us next week. And we're excited about doing this as an episode.
And always remember to grab a stogie and enjoy the lounge.
I don't know if I say this since it's been a Friday with this Carolina. I think you say to grab a stogie and enjoy the lounge. I think I
Did you not say it?
No, I did that differently this time.
This was Friday night in the Cigar Lounge.
Oh well.
And you.
No, because I definitely don't think this
It's
week.
okay, that's fine.
I like mixed it up and like. And so this has been a Friday night in the Cigar Lounge. And now I see him. So.
So, this was Friday nights in the Cigar Lounge.
Once
No.
again, we apologize for
For what? You don't have to apologize. What are you apologizing for?
I don't know.
What are we gonna say? You don't have to apologize for spreading your opinion and views.
No, I was saying for the episode being not having the episode out.
Oh, I thought you were going
No.
towards our I'm like, don't apologize
Sorry
for that.
for not having an episode for this Friday we're recording on. Again, my family was out, so sometimes we'll try to keep you guys updated with the ones that do follow us. So we can let you guys know if we're going to not be having an episode that Friday and if we are. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode and we'll see you next Friday.
This was Friday nights in the Cigar Lounge, coming at you on a Friday. So always remember to grab a stogie and enjoy the lounge.